Did it work?
We're here. We're live.
How do we even know?
I'm telling you.
Okay.
We're live.
I trust you.
Well, welcome.
Thank you. Sorry, this is weird. So I feel like this is my first fully virtual, because usually I'm at the winery, so we're trying it fully virtual tonight.
Yeah. We're not at the winery. You're at home and I'm at home.
I know. This is so cool. What is this, like the 21st century? Hi, Anne. Okay, I want to be able to tell if people are watching.
Oh, well, I can tell you. I know you can't tell because I'm not the moderator. We have 5 watchers. So, hey, watchers.
Oh. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rachel's Craft Corner, November edition.
Ooh, Fabi in Germany says hi.
Oh, hi, Fabi. I feel like I know Fabi. Whoa. But I don't really, because I've never met him, but from our videos is why I feel like I know him.
Yes. Yeah.
From yours.
Yeah, virtual happy hour.
Yeah. He's fun to listen to because of his cool accent.
Yes. Oh, Liz Voss dropped her nails out today. She's so excited for this.
Yay. Okay, good. I'm glad that she's doing this with us. So, Liz, I'm going to give you a heads up right now. I'm not going to be doing hammering during this video because it's real loud and shakes my table. So if you want to go ahead and get started on doing some nailing now, it's not a bad idea. I am going to be talking about some tips for nailing that I discovered while I was prepping this stuff. So I don't know, do we just jump in or do we wait a minute or two?
We have 5 watchers, so you can go ahead.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for everybody who purchased the craft kit. For those of you who are unaware, we're doing our string art craft night kit. I will show you a few finished products because I have those here. I was showing my sister earlier all of the all my stuff that I was getting ready. She goes, "You're like a chef with all the ingredients prepared and then you just pull it out of the oven and it's done." Something like that. Okay, so here is a finished product of what we're doing tonight. Not everybody's going to be doing this wine glass. We have some people who are doing an initial. I made one of those, but it's currently at the winery, so I don't have that to whip up in front of you guys, but I'm pretty sure it's on our Facebook.
Yeah.
So you can look at it if you want to, but it looks just like this. So we have the outline of our image and nails, and then we are using string to fill it in and add the color in there. So this is my wine glass that I made on our cute pieces of wood. This one's kind of thick. It's really natural, very pretty. I do have another wine glass in my practices. I wanted to get a few under my belt, so I had a bigger piece of my craft supplies. So this is my other wine glass.
So pretty.
I'm gonna have lots of wine glass decor when this is all said and done. It's okay, I'm alright with it. Yeah, maybe somebody's gonna be getting one of these for Christmas this year. We'll see.
For Christmas gift. I was totally thinking that.
Oh yeah, this would be honestly such a good gift. You do somebody's initial, especially if somebody who just got married, you could do their initial and then write their wedding date or put established and the year. Literally the possibilities are endless for this craft. It's so fun. Also, Megan, you might be able to attest to this. When you're just hammering away, you just really get some frustration out.
So true. I did mine in advance, guys. And yeah, it was just nice because I was hammering. Nobody was near me. There were no kids. I love my kids, okay, guys, but there was no kids, and I could just do it. I just hammered it out. And it was nice. It was a little cathartic.
Yes, literally hammer it out. It's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay. So now that you all know what we're doing, I'm going to just give you guys some tips for the nails. Like I said, I'm not going to hammer them because it's really loud and not ideal for virtual land. It's annoying. I decided to start another nail art project this afternoon so I could show you guys another piece of it. And my husband walks by and he goes, I thought you were done with that. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm never done. So I wrote some things down while I was nailing so that we could talk about them. So if you're just getting started, so Liz, if you're still watching, if you're just getting started with your project here, what you want to do is take your design, your template, and you're going to place it onto the piece of wood wherever you want it to go. You could tape it down if you wanted to, but with these small pieces of wood, I didn't feel like I needed to. I just set the piece of paper down and then like nailed one in the top and nailed one in the bottom to keep it in place where I wanted it to go. With a bigger one, I might, with like a big design, I might tape down the sides of it so that it doesn't shift because I'm going to be hammering like a bigger surface area. Okay, another thing, I have a towel on my table right now because I felt like when I was doing this to help kind of like absorb some of the sound, I'll show you guys my little workspace. I put a towel down so that when I was hammering, it wasn't just like wood on like the hard table. So I set a towel down to do it. And also this is like a really, really natural wood. So it kind of shed a little bit. And so the towel just kind of kept everything contained. Did you notice that, Megan? Did you have like some shedding?
Yeah, yes, it's currently shedding on my kitchen counter. But when I was hammering it, I went down to the basement and we have, there's some carpet down there where I was doing it. And so I did it that way. And I felt like it was really nice and quiet that way.
That's a really good idea. Doing it on the floor and the carpet.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like if you're like kneeling, you might have like a good like vantage point to like make sure you're really getting the nails in there really well. Also, my husband told me that if I did it on the towel, I had him help me with a few of these last night, and he was just doing it like on the kitchen counter with this thing like going at it, and I was like, oh, put something underneath it, and he was like, oh, it absorbs all the power. So I was just like, oh, so maybe, I don't know, he knows all the math and physics behind it, but I did it. I would rather have to work my arm a little bit more than for it to be loud. So I don't know.
Just like, so Liz, the nails that you have are the same ones that I used, and I thought they went in really easily. So I didn't have any problems. Liz, she just went to grab a towel for the exact reason that you just mentioned.
Okay. See, I feel it. And with you have the nails that you use, Liz, are what Megan used. So you shouldn't have a problem hammering those in. So, all right. Once you kind of have your space set up, you have your template on there. You just literally like pick a spot. I think I tended to start more at the top and work my way down and just hammer in your nails where you think you'll need to. So here's my tip on how many, I wrote notes, I should look at these so I'm somewhat focused. Okay, the number one rule on this is don't hurt yourself because it's very possible. If your nails are going in fairly easy, you shouldn't have a problem. I was using some longer nails last night and I definitely got my finger at one point and that's not fun. So don't do that. Yeah. I felt like distance-wise, and Megan, you can let me know your thoughts on this. I felt like distance-wise of the nails, I would say 1/2 inch to 1 inch apart. What did you do?
I made mine too close.
Oh, it's okay. I don't think it's bad if you have more. I would just be afraid if you have less that you're gonna feel like you have gaps in your design. So if they're closer, it's okay, but you have some leeway. Oh, also Megan did an S where it's super curvy. I haven't gotten to that part yet, but if you did a good job. Like I can see yours perfectly. When you have sections that are like straightaways, you don't have to use quite as many nails. But when you have a part of the design that curves, you are going to want more nails in there because like the string is going to go straight. So you don't want it to be like a curve and then be like have 3 nails and it just be like mer, mer, mer. Like it's not going to be like a cute curve.
Yeah,
that's okay. Liz has a W, so she'll have a lot of straightaways. So don't feel like you have to put one like every like centimeter.
Yeah, every 1/4 inch like I did.
You can, it's just going to take longer. It's going to take more nails. But if you have like straightaways, I would say like half an inch to an inch is like will suffice. So like I'll show you mine at the top. Like the top is the wine, top of the wine glass here. I only put 4 nails across that whole thing, and that seemed to do the job. So that's kind of nice. But when it curves, you're going to want to have more in there because you want it to have like that nice curve. So you want to have enough nails in there to be able to have a clear design and outline. Okay, less is needed on the straight lines, more on the curves, because you don't want to look boxy either. So you want it to like follow the design. So you probably did it right, Megan, because your whole thing is like all curves.
It is all curves. I regretted choosing an S the moment I started putting the nails in.
Yeah, I did kind of find that like the wine glass ended up being probably like the easier of the two, but they're not neither of them are difficult. It's just different. It's just a different design. So it's
oh, sorry, I'm interrupting. I have a comment, and it's from Anne, but she can't Facebook, so she's on Soldier Creek Winery's account. But she says, do you have any recommendations if we want to make our own design from scratch?
Yes. Good question, Anne. Anne and I had this experience. I told you guys about our last craft night. I wanted to have a guinea pig. So I was like, okay, Anne, pick a design and you're going to do this craft. And it took her way too stinking long to pick a design. So rule number 1, maybe have an idea of what you want to put on there. Because if you don't, it's going to take you forever to finally land on something. So when you do want to like know what you want to put on there, and I'll show you, this is my new project that I started with my nails. So I wanted to do a Christmas one. I'm getting really excited about Christmas stuff. I was watching The Grinch while I was doing this earlier. So my tip for creating your own design, I just found these 4 images, like fixed them on the piece of paper. And then this one I did tape down because it's kind of a big one. Mm-hmm. So what I would say is choose something with really clean, thick lines. The more detail that goes into it, the harder it's going to get. So as you can kind of tell, like on here, it's like, okay, yeah, I can see exactly where all the nails are going to go. But like as soon as I take this piece of paper up, it's going to be like all these nails, like every which way. So it's going to make it like a little bit complicated to know where the design is going to be. Because like when you look at this, it just looks like a big clump of nails until you're like, okay, yeah, there is kind of a design in there. So if you pick something like cursive, writing might be kind of difficult. Anything with like weight, like a lot, like, I don't know, shading or like patterns, it's going to get a lot more intricate. Not to say that you couldn't do it. It's just going to be more time consuming and there'll be more like chance for error, because you want to be able to make sure you're like following your design correctly. So those are my tips, is to choose something like kind of blocky almost, like see how these are just like really super thick lines and stuff. That makes it really easy to do the outline.
Okay, I have another question after that. So if once you've like the one there that you have for Christmas that has like 4 different designs on it. So once you've nailed it all in, and I know this is getting ahead of ourselves, but you take it all off. So then do you recommend like printing 2 things so that you can like have an idea of what it actually looks like?
Yeah, great idea. I definitely recommend having a second printout of your template so that if you're getting confused on where your design is supposed to go or like what color, especially with multiple colors, you definitely want to know where you want to put each color. Because as soon as you get it like a piece of string in a different area, you're going to have to like undo all of what you just did to get it back in there. So that's a great question. I recommend having another printout of your design so that you know where you're keeping, the certain colors or whatever. Good question. Okay. So now that you guys kind of have the rundown on putting the nails in, this is like pretty simple. Like you don't have to think too hard about it. It's perfect to do while you have like a movie on. You don't have to like focus too much on it. You're just nailing in around, your outline and calling it good. Okay. I have a couple other actually tips for nails. So you might have issues or like maybe a little bit of difficulties holding, I'm drinking Blanc de Blanc, you guys. I'm getting like burpy.
That's true. I have ghost pig, so same.
Same.
And I don't have blood.
I'm like starting to get like bubbles. Oh, sorry if I'm like burping. That's gross. Okay, so when you're putting your nails in, you might have a hard time feeling like you're like where you're holding the nail. So like when there's a lot of other nails in place, sometimes you're like, oh, where am I gonna like? How am I gonna hold this? So I would just recommend, especially for the letters that you guys did. The design is a little bit narrow in certain spots, so sometimes that can get hard. So I just recommend either like tilting your thing. The best way that you can put your hand in there with the nail, put your fingers in there. Also, I'll sometimes use like a little tool to help hold the nail in place.
I hit my fingers so many times. Man,
you earlier. For real. So I just have like a little mini clothespin. If it's like a super, super tight spot, this might even be too big, but pliers are a great tool for this craft. I think that's what Anne was using when she was doing this, because she just like couldn't get her fingers in there with the thing. So she had a pair of pliers and she would hold the nail in the right spot and then hammer on there.
Yeah, like needle nose pliers though? Like the tiny one? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Needle nose pliers would be helpful if you're doing something really intricate. So hopefully Liz will be okay with what you have. And you don't, and Liz doesn't need to get her stuff quite so close together because it's a lot of straight lines. So hopefully she'll be good. And then last tip with the nails, I think, what I would do so that I'm not like getting my fingers with the hammer is I would just like place it where I wanted it, do like a couple taps with the hammer to where the nail would just like stay in place, and then move my hand and go after it. And then if I felt like it was going to fall, that's where like having the tool to hold it while I'm hammering, that's helpful too.
Yeah.
Good tips. Yes, these are good tips. These are things that I have learned because now I've done like several of these. Okay. Also, hopefully you guys don't have an issue because your nails are short enough, but if you ever do this project with like inch long nails, they are totally fine. Like they work great, especially if you have a really good, really thick piece of wood. But sometimes they bend, and I definitely have had to like go and like pull out some nails and throw a bunch away because I was getting a bunch of bent nails. So what I learned for that is that if you start to have a nail, I'm like I'm holding this like I'm gonna do it. I'm not even gonna do it. If you like start to hammer a nail in, I can't not do it.
No, it's okay.
I'm talking
about the caption.
I'm not gonna move my hands. If you're hammering the nail in and it starts to go sideways, just kind of go with I can't. Just go with the nail. Like if it's a little bit like diagonal, just go with the nail until you get it in in as far as it needs to go, and then come back with the hammer and like straighten it out by like going like this and tapping it up. The issue that I would have, if I like hammered one of the nails in and it was like diagonal, I would straighten it out early and then hammer it down. And I think because like it started to go into the wood like diagonal and then I lifted it up, the whole nail would bend.
Yeah.
It's really annoying.
3/4 inch nail was a good recommendation. I had no bent nails. But I did have some, you're right on when it tilted, I would usually correct it early and it would still go. So then I just hit it in a little further and then fix it later.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's just going to be that way.
There's no homers.
Okay. So once you have your nails in your design, then all you're going to want to do, and I'm going to try to do it. Hopefully I didn't nail these ones in yet. So hopefully I don't rip it off. You literally just like come with peel up the paper, and you're going to lift it and like rip it off the nails. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to tilt this while I'm doing this kind of stuff. I don't need this, I don't think.
I'm going to scoot forward.
Just really get on in here. Hopefully it works for me. So I have had a little bit of an issue in a few times that I've done this where the piece, and it's going to be a little hard to see too because I've painted my wood white, where I've had some issues when I was doing this a few times because the paper would stay stuck underneath the nail. And it's not a big deal, but that's where a pair of like either like tweezers or pliers would come in handy, because then you could go back and like pull out, like this is kind of doing it. You could go back and like pull out the paper with a pair of tweezers.
Oh yeah, I do have one little piece of paper that I'm not pulling out.
Left in there, yeah. If it's in the middle of the design, honestly, it doesn't matter because you're not gonna be able to see it once you put the string over it anyway.
That's true.
Okay, usually it comes off clean, but this one has a piece of there on there, so that's fine. We're just gonna leave it because I'll go back with like a pair of tweezers and pull it out. So a lot of the times, if it's a small enough design, it does come out pretty clean, like kind of in one fell swoop. This one's taped down, and I'm trying not to get the whole thing, so it's a little bit more difficult, but it's not that bad.
I'm trying to get mine out now with a spoon because I'm in my kitchen.
Okay, with a spoon, that might work. Maybe like a knife. I don't know. What kitchen utensils?
Rob just hollered from the other room. He said, "Don't."
That's not the right tool.
A piece of paper, not a nail.
Oh yeah. Okay, so in a perfect world, and when you're not like doing this on camera, it works much better. So yeah, I would just like keep working at this until it came up. Literally, like all my other ones came up super, super easy, and this one's just being difficult because I'm showing.
Mine actually came up super easy. I think it was because it was so small. Like, okay, yeah. So I have my, the S, and then I cut it out so it was like just beyond it. So maybe that makes it easy. Oh yeah, here I have it. Actually. I wanted to keep it so that I could see what the S is supposed to look like.
Yeah, that might help to have it like not covering the entire piece of wood. So I got this one pretty good. It's really hard to see because it's so bright, but
I was like, what is it?
Yeah, it's a Christmas tree with a star on top. Yeah. And so I would like come back and get all this up obviously before I would do the string. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys how to pull it up. That's kind of what happens when you are done hammering into the design.
Perfect.
So I still have a ways to go on this one. I'm just gonna throw this stuff away. Yeah, that's super nice if you can get your template up in one fell swoop, because then you can just use that as your like design to look at. But
yeah, I guess I was lucky.
Yeah, I'm not that coordinated with it today, I guess. Okay, so now for the fun part. So once you have your wood, the paper is removed, then you get to do really the fun stuff. So you all should have some string that we sent with your kit if you are doing this on your own. I'm just using regular embroidery floss. I think I'm going to use this color for my wine, pretty red. So it's literally like, yay, oh, pretty. I think, what are you doing? Iowa State?
I'm doing Iowa State colors.
Iowa State, oh, cute. Oh, it's going to be adorable. So you want, for most, well, it depends on your design. I feel like the ones that we sent, you'll probably do two colors, like one to fill in the middle and then one for the outline. If you're doing the letter, if you're doing the wine glass, it'll be one for the wine and then one for the glass. So I think I'm going to do my wine first. So I'm going to tilt this again to see if we can get a good enough view. Let me turn my light down and see if maybe that will help. Megan, let me know if you're having any trouble seeing this.
Okay. It looks fine. I have a quick question. What did you say for letters? Do you think we should do the outline first or the outline second?
Sorry. I recommend filling in the middle first, okay, and then doing the outline after, because you want the outline to like lay on top of the filled in part.
Okay. Deal. All right.
So
continue.
Perfect. Yes. Good question. I'm so glad you're doing this with me, because I would not think to say these things if somebody wasn't like actually doing that one. So good job.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm doing this. I'm excited.
It's really fun. It's so fun. This is a good one. Okay. So pick your inside color first if you're doing a letter. It's not as important if you're doing the wine glass, to do either like the wine or the outline, but I just feel like it's a smaller section. I'm going to be able to get it done like maybe a little bit quicker. So it's kind of nice to like have that part accomplished. So what you want to do to get started, you want to take an end of your string, and I'm just going to make a knot, but with a loop in it. I don't know the correct terms for things. So I'm going to wrap it around my fingers to where there's like a loop. And then I'm going to take the end and push it through the loop so that there's like the beginnings of a knot. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes. Maybe do it again, just in case.
Good idea. So take your string with the end. I am wrapping it around my 2 forefingers. Is that the right words?
All right. I don't know.
Anyway.
First 2 fingers?
First 2 fingers. I like to have a little gap there. I'm pinching the tail in with where I'm holding the loop. And then I'm just going to push through the end of the string so that I have like a loop with a knot. So if I pull the string, it's going to tighten.
Okay. Liz says that she just finished hammering her nails, so this is perfect timing.
Yay, perfect timing. Okay. Sorry, this is going to be a long one. We'll try to pick it up from here. Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that. Okay. So now what you want to do, you have your knot kind of like free floating here, and then you want to pick a spot where you want to get started. I know this is really bright, but I'm going to just pick the section of the wine glass that's in like the top left, and I'm just going to tighten my knot around that nail.
Okay. Do you have a recommendation for where to start if you have a letter?
I would just pick like one end.
Okay. Like
either the bottom. Yeah, like either the bottom end or the top end. You can probably start wherever, but I just feel like in my head it makes sense to like start from one end and then go like top to bottom or bottom to top. And then once you have that knot on your first nail, you're going to want to just tie another knot to have like a double knot on there so that it's pretty sturdy and you don't think it's going to go anywhere. So
does it matter how far down the nail this color is?
So you're going to want to push down the string as you go. Because you're going to be like looping around each nail several times. So you want to keep the string low if you can, because you're going to be doing more and more like layers of the string. And so if it's not low, then it's going to want to like pop off the nail. And I think most of you guys have, I think I have one in here. Just like a rogue, like bigger headed nail. I feel like it's hard to see. And then all the other ones of mine are smaller. So I'm really going to want to push down my string because it will be more likely to pop off when you have those bigger nails, like the bigger nail heads. They keep the string down a little bit better, but you still want to have space to go around each of those nails. So you'll see as we're kind of like looping around and outlining these nails, you're going to want to kind of come behind with like your finger on the other hand and like push it down as you go. It's going to naturally want to like rise up. So if that's just one thing to kind of like keep in mind as you're doing this. So, okay, once you have your string on there, you can like leave this till the end if you want. If you want, you could even just like tuck it in your design and it'll be covered up, or you could cut it off right away if it's going to bug you. I'm going to leave mine for now and then just cut it off at the end. So I have my string double knotted on to my first nail.
Okay.
How does that look, Megan? Can you see?
Good.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So once you have your string on there, what I recommend doing with your first round of string going around is just doing a quick little outline. And how I'm going to do that is, and you kind of want to keep your string, like if you're like a knitter or crocheter, actually, I don't know if this is the same for knitting, but for crocheting, you want to have like some tension. So as you're going to be looping this, you kind of want to have some tension with that string, because the minute that you like let go, it's going to want to like pop off. So you're going to want to, what I'm going to do is just do like a quick little first initial outline so I know exactly where my red is going to go and I'm not going to get confused with any of the other nails. I feel like this is especially important for when you're doing the initial, because it can get kind of confusing. You might like eventually cross it in the wrong direction, and then you've got like in the middle of your S, you have it like crossed to where you don't like where it's supposed to be empty space, and you don't want it to be showing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of good to do like a quick little outline, just twist it, like wrap it like all the way around the nail once, and then go to the next one, like wrap it around fully. And if you're having some problems, this is another area where you're having like a pen or like some pliers or something might come in handy to get into those tight spaces and push that string down. I'm using a pen to just push it.
And then I'm finding with mine, so I tried to like do it upright first, but my string was getting caught on like the nails. So really, I feel like you need to like pick it up and kind of turn it as you're going so that it doesn't get caught on all the nails.
Yeah, that's a really good tip. Really, any way to maneuver your like the wood or whatever to make it so that you can easily wrap the string around, like do what you need to do. That's what's perfect about these nice small pieces of wood, is that they're easily like, you can easily pick them up and kind of turn them so that you're not getting the string like caught up in the wrong section of nails. So I'm still just going around wrapping my wine section of my wine glass. And okay, so I just came to the beginning here. As you can see, I just have this little semicircle of what's going to be wine. So once you kind of have that initial outline, then you kind of know, okay, this is where my red string needs to stay. If I at any point go out of this little half circle, then I'm going to have to go back because I know that that's not where I want the string to be. So still keeping my tension on the string, I am going to start, this is the fun part because you literally just like every which way, you're going to wrap the string around the nails until it like totally fills in the color. So this might be a little bit more difficult for those of you doing the letter because you have a much smaller section, but it's fun. So just once you have that initial like outline, then be sure to keep that color inside of where you have the outline. So I'm just going all over. You're going to like, as you go, try to push down the string. Because like I said, you wrap it around a bunch of different times. Aw, baby.
They saw you. That was Cora. She's going to bed. She needed a hug and a kiss.
Aw, that's sweet. Oh, that's funny. She went so fast, I didn't even realize that it was her.
It's hard to tell. They're both, you know, Ira's huge.
Yeah, true. Not quite so baby, but she's still kind of a baby.
Yeah.
She can stay baby. Okay. So yes, how's it going, Megan?
So I have to push it down, I think, while I'm doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, if it starts coming up too much, you're gonna wanna, what's that?
It's kind of hard because I keep the tension, I guess, maybe too tight.
Okay. Yeah.
But, yeah.
I guess a good tip for that is like you can let up your tension a little bit if you're like pushing it down, because now when I'm pushing my string down, I can just let this, this section go because I'm holding the string in place with this while I'm pushing it down.
Okay.
So if you do that, it might give you a little bit of some leeway to be able to push it down and then find the next spot that you're going to put your string on.
Yeah. It was just, and like how filled in do I need to go? Just like whatever I want, or?
Yes, that's totally your preference. Personally, I like to fill it in like a good amount. I don't want a whole lot of that like background to show, just because I want it to be like really bright and vibrant. If you like, I feel like it maybe is like more rustic looking if you have it be where you can see some of the background. So if you want it to be like a little bit more subtle, you are going to have it outlined. So you'll still be able to see the design and the color. But if you're like low on string or just like that look, you totally can, just leave it without it being filled in like fully. But I like to have it pretty dark and vibrant. So I'm just going to keep going until it gets to a point where I feel like it's filled in as much as I want it.
I just got a text from Anne with a picture, and I don't know if you ever wanted to be on TV, but you're on TV at her house.
I
am. She's got you up on the big screen, so they're watching in the living room.
That's really kind of them to do that. She has like a big old screen, so my head's probably huge on her screen.
All I saw was a piece of wood.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's really funny. And take a picture of that because I want to see what that looks like on your big old screen.
It looks good. I'm bending down. My head's like this. You can see my big ponytail.
Yeah, you have to just get creative with this. I felt like I was like every which way, like hammering these nails in and stuff. We just do it for the craft. You do what you got to do.
Yep.
So when you are starting to get your color filled in a bit more. Oh, this is another part of it for how many nails you have in there. The less nails that you have in a section, the less area or spots, I guess, that you're going to have to like cross the nails over with the string. So I feel like you probably can't have too many as long as they're like not super, super close together, because then you're not really going to be able to put them on there. But if you have more nails, if you have the time to like fill more in, then I don't feel like you can ever have too many, but there is a chance that you could have too few, because then you won't be able to like fill it in a whole lot if you don't have enough spaces to like cross the string over another section. How are you feeling like your crisscrossing is going, Megan?
Good. I stopped. So, in the beginning, we were wrapping it around each nail to go around the outside.
Yep.
I stopped doing all that all the time.
Yes. You don't need to wrap it around fully before you go across. So I'm just like hooking it like, I don't know, like halfway and then like crossing over to another one. You don't have to do like a full twist around and then you go. I feel like if you do that every single time, it takes up a lot of space on your nail.
Yeah. So that was I felt like, I was like, okay. And also it's taking me a really long time to finish up with that one thing. And I thought, okay, maybe I don't need to take that long. And it was staying on just fine. So then
Okay. That's creative. Yes, good thing to point out. I wouldn't have thought of that because now I've done this a few times. If you're feeling like it's having a hard time staying on there, by all means, wrap it around fully. Otherwise, you can just kind of like hook it once and then like go to the next one and like hook it around and then go to the next one. And this is where it's important to keep either that tension or every time you hook it, like to hold your spot, because once you let go, especially because these aren't fully like wrapped around every single nail, it's gonna pop off pretty easy.
Yeah.
So once you kind of get to a point where you're like, okay, this is looking pretty good, but what I've found is like sometimes I'll have a spot where it's like not as filled in as I want it to be. Like, see how you can kind of see these little like triangles? Yeah. So what you can do is be like, okay, I want to have that spot covered. So then you can come over to a nail where it's going to cover that a little bit. So like, I'm going to come to this. Gosh, this is hard. I'm going to come over to like this nail up here, and then I'm going to cross it over up here because I know that that's going to cover this little triangle area a little bit. So play with your string to be like, okay, I have a spot that I want covered. Where can I put that string in the design so that it covers, this blank spot? So chances are there's going to be a spot like a nail where you can bring your string that, maybe you didn't cross that one yet, but you can bring it to where it's going to cover, the spot you're trying to cover up.
Yeah, so you kind of have to be creative with where you're putting it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mine's starting to look like an S.
Good job. Ooh, that's such a pretty color.
I like
It's so
it. Yeah.
vibrant. Yeah, that's looking really, really good.
I think I'll go back to the beginning in a minute, but I just wanted to get further down so I knew how much I had left of my skein.
Oh, good idea. Yeah, with the letters, you'll kind of figure out like you need to go like section by section. And so you'll have like a small section where you're like, okay, I got to fill this in really, really like really good. And then you kind of move down and do a little bit more. When you have like a more wide open area, it's just like free for all every which way. And Megan, you two probably are having to be like a little bit careful that you're not like crossing your string over to where it's like going to leave that outline.
Yeah.
It's something else to think about. It's not hard. It's just like a different way of having to like, close the design, I guess.
Yeah. You really have to think about it.
Right. This is where it's helpful to have that picture next to you. If you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. Take the scarf off. There always comes a point in these videos where I have to shed a layer. So it's kind of like it's helpful to have that piece of paper with your design to make sure that you're staying in the allotted area for that color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm kind of liking where mine is, like how filled in mine is. So I might just have a couple more little go arounds. And then I'm going to do like a thicker outline, and I'll show you guys how to do that as well.
Okay.
So this is looking pretty good. I think I might be.
I'm like trying to figure out how to get creative here.
I know sometimes it's hard, especially like you're a little bit limited because you have like a skinny, skinny section.
It is. It's so skinny. I think I'm figuring it out though.
Good. Well, honestly, like it's just all trial and error. Like if it goes, if it doesn't go the way you want it, one way, just kind of go back a nail and go another way. The biggest thing is not going like back and forth on the same nails. Like you have to like go all around so that it fills in the area.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that in my smaller sections. So, thanks, Anne. Anne loved my S. So Liz, though, you'll probably like in your smaller sections of your W. You definitely. I feel like I had to be careful not to go back and forth because I tended to want to do that. But you really have to take some creative liberties and kind of go really further than you think you would need to go.
Yeah. Like go like way the heck up one way and then like backing down so that it's covering the whole section. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tie this one off so that those of you who are doing, maybe the wine glass can see. If you're not quite done with like your letter or whatever yet, you can, rewind it afterward or whatever. Or just like listen and then you'll figure it out when it comes time. Okay, I will say out of the whole craft, I feel like this is the trickiest part of the whole thing. So I apologize in advance, but it's really not that hard. So we want to do, so I'm keeping my tension. I'm pulling this like a little bit tight so that it's not going to pop off or anything. Oh, wait, I wanted to do the outline. Okay, I'm going to do this first. Just kidding. Okay, so I want to outline my wine section. The outline is going to be really important when we do our wine glass because like at the top, we have just a single row of nails. We don't have anything to go like around, like back and forth on. But I want to go ahead and do that outline on this section of the design as well, because I just feel like it gives it like a little bit of a pop and it makes it kind of like more defined. So what I'm going to do is I have my string. I'm going to bring it back up. I like to start in the corner. It makes more sense to me that way. So I'm going to bring it back up to like the top corner. And then what you're going to do is similar to how you did the outline from the beginning. You're just going to, so I'm going to like half wrap it on the first nail and come down to the second nail with it. And then I'm going to go back up to the top, the first nail, and then I wrap it around again. And then I'm going to skip the second nail, go to the third nail and wrap it, and then go back to the second nail. So you're creating like a, I don't know, just like a loop around all of the nails. But in order to like circle back, you have to go back 2. So like I'm going to the second nail, and then I'm going to go back 1 nail. And then to do the next row, like I'm skipping the middle one, going to the last one in this row, and then I'm going to loop it and then go back 1. So then when you come to the corner, it's not as important to loop back because I'm like turning the corner here. So now I have to, you might like wrap it around twice. So it kind of creates like a, I don't know, like almost like a, not a V, like a loop, just a full loop around those top nails.
Yeah.
It might be hard to see. You can kind of see up here, I feel like a little bit more. But I just feel like it creates a really clean outline. It's going to show a lot more. Yeah, it's going to show like for when you guys are outlining your letters more too. So I'm just going to continue with this pattern until I've wrapped or done this outline on all of my nails in this section. So I'm going back 1, skipping 1, going to the third one, then going back to the second, and you just keep on going with it. If you are like totally not getting this and you don't really care for it to be like fully outlined in this section, you can skip this part. It's not for this, it's not super imperative, but personally, I just like that it kind of gives it a little bit of a clean finish, but that's just my preference. How's your filling in going, Megan?
Good. I'm like sitting here looking at the triangles and I'm like, how do I fill that in? But here, it looks like it's an S now.
That looks awesome.
I'm just working on, getting through the middle part. That's
like filling it in a little bit.
Yeah, because it's now like I've made the bottom part so filled in. So the skinny parts are easy to fill in, but the wider parts are harder.
Yeah. You have to like really like go every single nail like a couple times. Sometimes you might have to just like go down like all over the head, all over the place until you get it really filled in.
The directions I'm going, but they look better when you do it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. You really don't want to skimp on that part because you want it to be like filled in. And I mean, if you want it to look different, that's totally fine. Personally, I think it looks nicer when it's like more vibrant. I love the color that you picked. That's like popping so much on the wood.
Yeah, it really is nice. I mean, go Cyclones. The colors are always nice.
Yeah. And it's like nice fall colors too.
That's true.
That's nice. Good job.
Oh, thanks. Mine just came off.
Oh, shoot. Okay. So I just filled in my last little loop to do that outline. And so now I'm going to tie it off. So I'm holding it tight here. I'm going to put my other finger down so that I have some leeway with this. Actually, you know what I am going to do? My scissors are over there. Hold on. I'm going to cut my string down a little bit before I do this because I feel like it's a little bit easier when you have a shorter string. It tends to get a little tangled if you have a really long string. Okay. So I'm holding my string down. What's happening over there?
Rob came in.
Oh. Why is Rob not crafting with us?
Honestly, he had to take care of the kidlets.
He was on Kid Duty. That's right. Okay, so I'm going to snip my string like however many inches this is. Like 8?
Yeah.
8? I'm not great at estimating things, but it's okay. Okay, I'm going to put this down here again. Okay, so I snipped my string so that I have like a little bit less to work with here. What I'm going to do, I'm holding my thumb in place where the string just went around that nail. And then I'm going to do like what I did before where I wrapped the string around my fingers and then pulled the end through so that I have this knot. So then what I want to do is I want to drop that loop onto one of the nails to finish this off. So I'm going to put this on this top nail here. I'm going to make sure to get the loop of the knot over the nail. And then I'm still holding my thumb there so that the string doesn't go anywhere. And then I'm going to, I like kind of made the loop smaller, make sure that it's hooked on the nail. It keeps popping off. There we go. It's looped on the nail, and then I'm just pulling the string of that loop tight. So now that I actually left this bottom string, I'm really glad that I did that, because what I'm actually going to do is just take these two pieces and just do like a double knot right here, because I left the bottom one. That literally just dawned on me, because normally what I would do, and I'll show you in case you already snipped it off or it's like not out, like if you worked it into your design or whatever, what you can do is take your tail end of your string, and then you're going to have to find a spot near where the knot already is and like tuck it under one of the strings in your design. So this is a little bit tough. Sometimes I would use a pen to like pull it under, because then you just basically want to create another knot to have that double knot and tie it. So because I left this other string here, I'm just going, and I finished in the same spot that I started. I'm going to do a double knot with this string. And you can, if you're finding a different way to end your string here, by all means, like do whatever is working for you. This is just what I have just decided works for me. So now I'm just going to come through with my scissors and snip it as close to the knot as I can. You can see a little bit of a knot because I did those two strings like that, but I'm just going to kind of push it down, and you can't really tell like in the overall look of it.
No.
So yeah, now I have one section of my glass done. So hopefully you guys are coming along, wrapping those strings around. I think I'm going to use this kind of silvery gray for my glass. Oops.
I'm doing my outline now.
You're doing your outline. Yay, goodness.
Yeah, after I fold it in. I'm sorry.
You're doing the yellow outline. Cool.
Yeah.
That looks really good.
But I'm still paying attention because I plan to be on the red soon.
Absolutely. You do what you got to do. So I'm just untangling this string a little bit because it's a little bit tangled up. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing like how I started before, but now I'm going to start in a different area, and I'm going to start in the top left side because that's where I like to start. I'm just going to tie that knot on there and then do a double knot. Wow, this video is getting long, guys. Sorry.
I'm okay with it. I've been drinking the whole time.
That's so true. We're all just hanging out. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go back just like how I did before. I'm just going to do one like initial outline of my entire glass, pushing that string down as I go. This is why, like, when you watch like craft tutorials on Facebook, they record it in advance and then they have the whole thing sped up with their voice over it.
Right, totally.
I'm understanding.
So true. But you know what? This is more fun. Now it's like, because I feel like I'm communally making a craft with you and also getting to drink with you at the same time.
That's so true.
Like, and we're not, we're not breaking CDC guidelines.
Right. That's a good point. So I'm okay with this. If you're doing the craft with us, I don't feel like it's probably going to be like, feel that like long and painful. So I feel like everybody just needs to get some craft kits, and then you can just do the whole thing right here in the video with us.
Yep. That's it.
See, if I was
watching, you made it to 53 minutes and 36 seconds and you were like, man, I wish I had a craft kit.
Yeah.
You can still get it.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know how many pieces of wood we have left, but.
Oh, Liz says we have lots of wood. Lots. Liz is same. She's enjoying her time. She's having a good time with us. She feels like she's crafting with friends and drinking with friends.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Oh, sorry. Liz, don't forget to use your coupon code, okay?
Oh, yeah. For sure. Good. I'm really, really glad to hear that. Because this is fun for me. This is like my favorite thing. Also, like I mentioned before, I'm starting to get into the Christmas mood. So when you're doing crafts, watching movies, you feel like you're being like extra productive because you're like completing something while you're watching a movie.
Yeah.
So this would be like the best thing for that.
I am not. If I'm watching TV, I can't just be watching TV. Like I need to be doing something else.
Oh yeah, for sure. Which, by the way, I saw a picture that you posted of Ira with his beautiful baby blanket in the background, and I like really took a moment to just like admire the blanket.
Thank you. I spent a lot of time, as you know, on that during the beginnings of quarantine.
Yes. So we're all truly, guys, we're all going to need crafts to get through this winter.
It's so true.
So stock up on your supplies now. If you need something, you let us know, and we'll make a kit for it because we're going to need crafts to get through this winter.
Yeah, it's we can't get together anymore in the wintertime because it can't be outside.
Right.
So like this is the next best thing.
I totally agree. It's really fun. Okay, so giving you guys an update on where I'm at right now. I am going through and doing like my loopy outline of the top of my wine glass. This I'm going to want to have like a pretty thick outline because it's just a single row of nails. If you have the wine glass, you'll kind of see what I mean until you get to the bottom. So I just filled in my like the top like 3/4 of it, or I don't know, 2/3. So I did like kind of a thicker outline up until here. And then now I'm going to go down the stem of my wine glass and like fill it all in because this is a bit thicker. And then go back and finish off that outline. So now is the fun part where I just get to go crazy, make sure I fill in as much as I can. So now I'm kind of getting a taste of what you had because Megan, because I have a thicker area with like not as many nails. So I have to get creative on how to fill these in as best I can, but it's okay.
Okay. I'm just to the point where I'm tying it off.
Okay, perfect.
My inside color. So I might have questions for you soon for the outline.
Yes, let me know if you're having any questions as you go.
Okay.
Do you have a spot? Like, did you pick a spot where you're going to end it?
Yeah, I'm trying to end it in the same place that I started, like you did, so that I can tie it to the string that I left behind.
Oh yeah, yes, good idea. Okay. Ooh, this one is a bit tougher, I will say. I'm kind of glad to have that middle section done though, because now once this one's done, that will be good to go.
Woo-hoo.
I do also love like quick crafts like this, because like ones that you don't get to finish like in an hour or in a couple of hours or like the length of a movie or something. I'm really bad about starting a craft and then setting it down and then not coming back to it for like weeks and weeks.
Yes, I've had some knitting projects like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just never come back.
I mean, I don't mind those either because then it's something you're like, oh, every time you go to watch a movie, like you pick it up and work on it some more, like when you're like crocheting or knitting a blanket or something, like how Megan was doing. But this one, I will say, I guess I would probably recommend to do each part all in one like clump. So like I would do like all the nails all in one time and then do the string all in one time, because if you don't do the string all at once, then you have to like tie it off more than once and like come back and tie it back on, which is just kind of annoying to have to do.
Yeah, that would be annoying.
Yeah, but I don't know, maybe you're more patient than I am. So if you were doing like a really big one, then it might be, or if you have to tie it off anyway, like this Christmas one that I started, I'm going to be doing like several different colors. So I'm going to have to like start and stop a bunch of different times anyway. So maybe that one will be easier to like set down if I can't do the whole thing all at once.
Yeah, maybe.
So we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so I tucked in my ends. Now I'm going to get started. I'm pushing everything down now because I didn't really like do it as I went. So, because I saw you were doing it as you go, but like, I couldn't be bothered.
That's okay. As long as you have, honestly, like as long as you have space on the nail to like put the outline, it's not that big of a deal. So if it's low enough on there, like you don't really need to keep it pushed down, but my nails are like the teeny head ones. And so I'm afraid that it's going to pop off. So that's why I'm like, okay, let me stick it down every single time.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm starting the red. So for anybody else who's doing an outline, does that mean like I'm doing like a true outline, like I need to just around every single one first and then go back?
That's up to you.
Okay.
Since you already have the color, I feel like if you do your like the double outline as like, you wrap it, go to the next one, go two over, come back, like you could just do that and then be done.
Okay.
Because I don't think you have to do the little like quick outline because you know where everything's at because you just filled it all in.
Okay. All right. Got it.
If you were like wanting it to be even thicker or something, like if you were using like a lighter color and you wanted to make sure it was like really prominent, you could do like double the outline. But I don't feel like it's super necessary. Also, it's going to be longer and like take more time. So I know you're like a quick crafter and you just like to whip it out.
You know me.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's different. But yeah, that's a good question. I don't feel like you need to do like that quick one and then go back. I feel like when you go to do the outline, especially for the letter, that you can do that like double one as you go. And then once you're done, you're done.
Okay.
So have at it.
That's what's happening.
Okay, I'm almost done with my stem. I feel like I've gotten it filled in pretty well. So now I'm gonna go back up to the top where I left off with my little like double outline and then go back and finish it up. Okay, now I feel like we're just cruising right along.
Woo-hoo.
So, and make sure you have enough of your string to do that outline. You can, if you needed more, like when I did that really big wine glass, I feel like I maybe used 2 skeins in the middle part. So I think I ended up like tying the 2 strings together and then like snipping the ends and just keep going. So you totally have that option if you run out of string, or if you wanted it to be like, I think Anne, when I did this project with Anne, she did this really pretty like monstera leaf and she used a like an ombre green across it. And then I think when she ran out, she just like tied another one on. And so it kind of was like different colors. So if you wanted to do like different colors, different color string, different color sections, you could do that too. So there's just so many options.
There are.
It's really fun. I love this project too, because like really you can do so many different designs.
So true.
I'm loving these designs. Like I'm loving the letter and I'm loving the wine glass. Like this is a really nice one. I have like a little wine glass like decor section in my kitchen. So these will look really nice up there.
Love it.
That would be so fun. Of course. And of course we love wine. I even have my Soldier Creek wine glass today.
Aw, I don't. I'm using a stainless steel cup that I got from Alluvial in Ames. It's a really good brewery, actually. So I don't know if they're open right now, but I think you can get their beer to go, and I highly recommend it. I mean, I know we're not supposed to be talking about other things, but I'm drinking Ghost Pig out of it.
It's okay. You can talk about it. We're here to support all the other breweries, wineries, whatever. We don't discriminate. What?
We got to support small businesses now.
For sure. Yeah, now's the time, you guys. Now's the time to support small business when it's coming up to Christmas. We have some fun stuff in our little shop. If you've been in the winery recently, you can check on our website. We have these really awesome like puffer jackets that people love. They're super cozy, like and warm, and they have the Soldier Creek logo embroidered on them. We have some like fleece jackets. We have our t-shirts and a couple different designs. Lots of different like wine glasses. We do have some stainless steel like coffee, travel mugs, tumblers. So, people will think that you're drinking wine, or people will think you're drinking coffee, even if you're drinking whatever else you feel. We don't judge.
It's fine. That cup is good for both situations, wine or coffee.
For sure. So yeah, if you guys are needing some gift ideas, like hop over to our website or come check out the winery during our open hours because we've got some stuff for you. If you are needing gifts,
we got it.
We've got
or
some
just
cool
good
stuff.
old wine. I mean, nothing is ever said about giving wine as a gift.
Absolutely. That's one of my favorite things to give as gifts because everybody loves it.
It's my favorite thing to get as a gift.
For sure. Especially if you're going to be visiting family out of town. It's so fun to be like, oh, we have this local winery, like blah, blah, blah. This is my favorite kind. Like people stinking love that stuff.
Yeah. And for those of you who aren't able to visit your family this year, you can have it shipped. We get some pretty great shipping deals. So hop on.
And keep an eye on all of our social media because we do have some deals coming up. Like for Black Friday, I know we have like for the whole week of like Thanksgiving and Black Friday, we have a deal coming up. So keep your eyes peeled for stuff like that because it's gonna be good.
And we have something in the works as a Christmas gift for the wine lover in your life. So again, that one's going to be good.
Yes, check back on our social media often. Okay, so I am almost done with my outline here. I just decided that I wanted to do another go around of outlining because I noticed, so I did like the first half of my wine glass, like up until I got to the bottom, and then I went and filled in the stem. And I'm finding that the outline that I did before I got to the stem was like pushed down really low. And I want it to be like a bit raised. So I'm coming back around and doing another outline, which is not necessary, but it's just something that like I want it to be up a little bit higher to match like the rest of it. So this is like what's nice is you have like creative liberty to just do what you feel with it, and whatever looks good to you, you can do that. And if you don't like how it looks, then change it.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, it's pretty fun. Okay, so how do I want to do this? I might just really keep on going with it until I get back up to the top because I'm finding out that it is way easier to finish where you start.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of tough to get the knot or whatever on just like a random nail if you don't have something to tie it off to. Hopefully I have enough string. I think I do.
I wanted to say Liz, and also I'm trying to think of who else. There's somebody else, and they're probably watching. They have an S and a, what's the other one? We have a W, an S, and
a E.
E, yes. Okay, I can't even think of who it was, but that person who's doing the letters, if you're doing an outline, so I started with just doing like straight lines and like going around the outside twice, but really I liked crisscrossing also. I don't know how to explain it, but like instead of just doing like a double outline where it's like a clean line, I wanted to do a crisscross. Oh, Amanda says it isn't me. I wanted to do a crisscross instead. So I can show you maybe what it looks like in line. I don't know.
I know what you're talking about because I've definitely played around with it. Yeah, so you can kind of see it's like a like it goes diagonally in there, like crossed, not just like I'm gonna call it like a tube, kind of like it's like a tube around the two nails. But if you crisscross it, then it fills it in even more. Yeah.
So I decided I wanted that in the end.
Cool. I like it, and it probably like fills it in pretty well too.
Yeah, it does. Like the double line was really pretty to begin with, but this, I don't know. I think I like this a little bit more because it's a nice thick line.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's like another, oops, I came undone a little here. Okay, that's another way that you can do your outline. That actually probably would look really pretty on this wine glass. I'm way too far into it to change anything. But if you're doing this later on, give that a try because you want the wine glass outline to be pretty prominent because it just has those single nails on the top or around the whole wine glass. So great technique, Megan.
Thanks.
Love it.
I'm here for the real time figuring it out.
I'm so glad. Megan was like, should I do this? She called me earlier. She's like, should I be doing this while you're like explaining? And I was like, yeah, you definitely should.
Honestly, I was happy to because I really wanted to make one. I've always wanted to, and it's just, usually I need to, well, now that you've taken over, I'm like behind the scenes for virtual stuff, but really like, I still want to craft if I can.
For sure. Yeah. This is like a great way for you to do that. And like, now you don't have to take the time in advance. And this is like my like number one hobby in life. So I'm like, let me do all the trial runs. And for those of you who didn't know, we are selling this kit pre-nailed if you want it. So I pre-nailed a bunch of these, like some letters and some of the wine glasses. Because if you're like, that's cool, but I don't feel like having to like get carpal tunnel while I'm hammering in these nails or whatever, or like you don't want the noise because it is loud. We are happy to pre-nail your design, and then you get to do the fun, like creative part and add the color and the string in there. So we are more than happy to do that for you if you want to purchase your kit after the fact. Megan says we have plenty of these pieces of wood left, so we have plenty of kits to be preparing for you.
And like hundreds of nails now.
Oh yeah. So funny story with the nails.
Liz wants. Liz, did you want me to explain how to do the outline? I think she wants you to explain how to do the outline again. Yeah, I think because maybe I don't know. Liz, you stay, but I think I'm going to let Rachel take it.
I'm going to explain the way that I had been doing it, and then we'll have Megan explain hers. Or maybe I can try to explain it the way she was doing it. Okay, so when you go to do your outline, I just finished mine off, so I have a little tiny piece. So when you go to do your outline, you want to, you have a nail that you're starting on. You're going to wrap it around just kind of halfway. You don't have to fully loop it. You wrap it around like halfway, and then you come to the second nail. When you get to the second nail, you're going to circle back to the first nail. And then after you loop around here, you're going to skip the second nail, come to the third nail. And then when you come to the third nail, you're going to go back one and then come forward two. So it's like forward two, back one, forward two, back one. Because you're kind of making like, I don't know why in my head I'm like describing it as like kind of a tube, how it's like double around.
It is like a tube.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad that makes sense to you.
So that's how I started mine. And then I started filling it in.
So Megan, do you want to explain how you had been doing it?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll hold it up as close as I can. So I started with the two, but then I started making like an X or something between them, or even just one diagonal. Like I'm not picky.
Yeah. That looks really awesome.
But I feel like that kind of made it like a little better of an outline, I guess.
Yeah, it's like more opaque.
Yeah.
Like fills in the color. And it pops way more too. I feel like when you do it that way, again, especially because yours is like flat against another color. Mm-hmm. If you only did it the way that I was outlining, you would still be able to see the color coming through. I don't really have that issue because I have like two clean, like mine don't touch. Like my nails for the wine glass, they don't touch. They're totally separate, so it stays pretty clean. But if I was like filling in this whole glass and then like coming to the edge of the wine part, then that would be like a really good technique too, to make sure that I'm like, okay, here's like really prominent. Or actually, I'd probably want to do that with the red on this, but yeah, totally another way to do that. So
Liz, thank you. And she got it. And Yay. Also Katie Mitchell Kilpeck says, hey, Rach, caught you live.
Yay. Hi, Katie. That would be JV's stepmom. We love her. our last craft night, she was like, "Oh my gosh!" She said, "You're a YouTube crafter," and so she was like, "Send me over for all the supplies." And her girls, she's got 2 daughters. Her and her girls did the pumpkin craft, and so it was really really fun. I was like, "You guys!" So Katie, I'm really sorry. I'm off my game. I literally all day I was like, "Oh, I gotta text Katie the all the supplies we're doing for craft night." So I will text you, Katie, the supplies, like a link for the supplies. Although you probably have some of this stuff, like because they're crafty people. Me and Katie instantly bonded over crafts when I first met her.
Love it.
Yeah, so you might have some of these supplies already. But this is going to be a fun one to do with the girls, so that'd be fun. Okay, so I have pretty much finished mine. All I'm going to do now is clip off the ends of my string that I already tied off. Another thing you can do too, if you were like really didn't want these little clippings or like the like a knot to show, you could always stick like a little bit of glue and pull the glue so that it's like super, super clean. Personally, especially because of the type of wood that we're using, since it's kind of rustic and stuff, I don't really mind it. You have to look really close in order to see where it's tied off. Like I've got like a teeny, like I have to even look. I've got like a teeny knot way up here, but I don't think it's really that visible. So I'm not bothered by it.
I don't think you can really see my hair.
It's so pretty. Yeah, I can't see yours. Look at our finished craft. This one's really fun. I love this, being able to like finish it totally.
Yeah, for real. This was fun because I feel like last time we didn't like, we put it together and like, well, the comment section didn't work.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, hopefully. It seems like you guys can hear us now.
Yeah, they can hear us. The comment section is coming up. I'm not missing all the comments where people are like, go back.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so here are all of mine. So I'm going to have to like hang one of these at the winery or something because I now have 3 wine glasses.
Mail it to somebody.
Mail it. I could, and now have a big one. I should have done some white wine, but the red is just, or like I did pink for this one. It's just so pretty.
I agree. I wouldn't. I like it that way. Like, I mean, I guess you could do like an off yellow, but like it's going to blend in.
Yeah, I think I might need it like a darker piece of wood or something like that if I was going to do a glass of white wine. But yeah, I had so much fun with this. Okay, another thing, I'm going to just put this out there. We ordered little hangers to put on the back of the wood, and I feel like maybe they came in today or maybe not. So if you purchased a craft kit from us and you want to add a little hanger to hang it on a wall, shoot us a message, or the next time you're at the winery, be like, hey, I had a craft night kit and I want the hanger. We can get that to you. Because I think that's probably what I'm going to end up doing with mine. What I usually do with stuff like this is I'll have like a staple gun and I'll just staple like 2 ends of a ribbon. So I have like a little ribbon hanger. Oh. But this is some pretty heavy duty wood. Some of them anyway. This one's like super duper thick. The hangers might come in handy. So if you want one of those, it's just like one of those little like sawtooth that has like 2 nails on either side, so that you can stick it on like a nail on your wall.
Yeah.
If you want one of those, please let us know because we can get that to you. Because that was like kind of last minute, decided we were gonna put that with the craft kit, and then like they didn't end up in there because they came late. So if you want that, let us know. Yeah, and we'll get it to you. And if you want to purchase this kit later on, we will have all the supplies ready to send to you. So
same goes for October. If you decide like you still want to do the bead pumpkin, we can send you those things too. Or you can come pick them up, no problem.
For sure.
We have 2 comments. Fabi says that our things look awesome.
Yay, thank you, Fabi.
And like, question, Fabi, if you've been sticking around for this entire hour watching us craft.
I remember.
And then Katie says, don't worry about not telling her. And she loves to craft with all her girls. And she thinks this is a really pretty craft.
Thanks, Katie. Okay, I'm excused.
Well, okay, I was going to say, I'm not going to put a hanger on mine because I have old phone nooks in my house from back in the day when people had landlines. And then you had little nooks for those landlines.
Yeah, totally.
We have all of those. We have like one upstairs, one downstairs. But I'm going to put mine in the nook.
That's a perfect little spot. And they're pretty thick wood, so you could like stand it up and like stick it in your little nook. I can't say that I have phone nooks in my house, so I'm gonna have to get a hanger for it. But they are pretty thick, so you could like lean it up against something and it would probably stand up. So if you didn't feel like you needed one, that's fine too. But that would be so cute, Megan. That's gonna look perfect in your house. So good. Yeah, I'm so glad that you did this.
The one by my door is my mask / cute nook. So it's got all the masks for everybody.
That's a perfect spot.
And then you have like, but it's like right by the door. Like it really is a perfect spot. But I have just the space after the masks to put something cute and crafty. So this is going there.
Adorable. You'll have to take a picture and send it to us where you end up hanging it.
Fabi says that it's only 2:50 in the morning in Germany, and every time is a good time for crafts. We should probably send them one.
I don't disagree, and I have definitely stayed up until 2:50 in the morning doing crafts. Beginning of quarantine, I got really into making these teeny tiny little felt stuffed animal things that Megan knows what I'm talking about. I got so into doing this, and like they were so time consuming, but I was like obsessed with them, and so I would stay up until like 3 or 4 in the morning. So I was like, I just have to finish this one, and like all these like tiny little pieces of felt. So I get it, but I imagine he's probably not following along with us. He's just watching, but that's totally fine too. Thanks for hanging in there. I'm really impressed.
I know it'll be super expensive for me to send one of these big blocks of wood, but we have some skinnier ones.
Yeah.
But Fabi, I know I said this last time, but I really am going to send you this kit. It's going to be a W for his last name. But I was thinking he has to take a video of himself doing it.
Yeah.
Send it back. But he's in lockdown right now for the next month. So we should send him a craft.
He needs crafts to do. Mm-hmm. I did also see on Pinterest that somebody did like a beer stein. It came out like it looked really stinking cool. If I was like more into beer, I would like maybe do one myself, but I'm not really a beer drinker. Maybe I could make that one for somebody, but it ended up being really cool. So that would be a fun design, and I feel like it's simple enough. It would take some different colors, but so there's another option for Fabi if he's a beer drinker.
Well, let's brainstorm because I always send him a Christmas box, so we can put a little craft in there, and we can send him an early one.
Oh, absolutely. That will be so perfect, especially if he's in lockdown. He's going to need some stuff to do. No wonder he's watching us at 2:52 in the morning. All right. Well, I feel like we've kept you here long enough. Our last one was like 30 minutes. How did this one get so out of hand?
I don't know.
Really, I've just been missing some human interaction or something.
I was fine with it. I was totally consumed by just sitting here listening to you talk and doing the S. I was fine with it.
This was really fun. Like this was like a really fun craft night. So I was like worried that it was going to be kind of like complex and difficult, but honestly, I feel like we were able to work it out. So everybody who's doing the craft, please send us pictures of your finished craft. I would be so happy to see them. Liz, good luck with yours if you haven't finished up with it. If you have any questions, keep popping those questions on here. Shoot us a message and we can answer those for you.
Yeah,
yeah. But thank you guys so much. This was so fun. We'll see you next time in Rachel's Craft Corner.